Hi everyone, welcome back to Kishorelytics. In my previous video, we explored how to build data warehouse using Medallion architecture from bronze layer to silver layer to gold layer. Alright, if you haven't watched that video, please make sure to check that video and after come to this video. Alright, and today we are diving into something exciting in the world of data. So sit back and relax. So let's get into the video. Before getting into the video, we want to know something about dimension and measures. Its answer comes with two questions. First, is it numeric and does it make sense to aggregate? If the answer is yes, just go to measures. If the answer is no, just go to dimensions. The examples of the dimension is the category and product ID and the birth date. And the examples of the measure is the sales and the age. And in this video, we are discuss about 12 topics to make sense of the data using basic SQL queries. So let's get into the video. Okay, in the first part, we want to explore the dimensions. First, what is meant by dimension? We have discussed about previous video. In the dimension is that does it make sense to aggregate? If the answer is no, then it is dimension. Does it make sense to aggregate? If the answer is no, it makes to dimension. Is it numeric? If the answer is no, then it's dimension. Okay, first we want to know about the dimension exploration in the data. First, for example, distinct country and distinct category and distinct product is the dimension exploration. We want to know what are the data in the dimension. So first, get into the SQL server. I'm using the Microsoft SQL server as a SQL query for data querying the database. First, I have already written the code, so I'm just copying it from my notepad. I will explain the code as well as possible. Okay. Okay. And if you watch that previous video, you don't want to create anything. Just follow the dimension exploration. If you don't watch the video, just create that table and report. In this, we want to create that report for the customers and just executing it. Okay, super. And in the second exploration, we are seeing that the date explorations. So the purpose of the data exploration we asked is that to explore the structure of the dimensions we are discussed about the previous video, previous section. And in this section, we are determining the date range exploration. The purpose is of the exploring the date exploration is that determine the temporal boundaries of key data points and to understand the range of historical data. In the data we have got historical data like 5 years, previous years. Like you want to understand the range of the historical data, and the basic SQL functions used here is the min, max, and date diff. First we want to determine the first and the last order date and the total duration in months. First, we are selecting the min of order date as the first order date and the max of order date as the last order date, and the date difference between the month and the min of the order date and the max of the order date as the order date dates from the gold facts table. It's coming from the gold facts table when I'm trying to execute this, and we have the first order date is 2010 12/29 and the last order date is 2014 1/28. The order range months are 37 months. Between the range between the first order date and the last order date is the 37 months. And we want to find the youngest customer and the oldest customer based on the birth date. We have the birth date in the table. So we want to find the youngest customer and the oldest customer. The youngest customer is coming from the min of the birth date as a old birth date and the date difference between the year of the min birth date and the get date. From now onward, the difference between the previous minimum customer. Okay, and we are discussing about the maximum birth date at the youngest birth date and the date difference between the year and max of the date and from today's date as the youngest age. From the it's coming from the gold dimensions customers table. When we see that the oldest birth date as 10 to 1960, the customer is still alive, I don't know, and the oldest age is 109. Great, right? And the youngest birth date is the 25/6 and 1986, and the youngest birth date is also always the it's like auntie age and the uncle's age, right? And 39 years old, the old customers. Okay, in the next section we are discuss about the measure exploration. So let's in the previous section we have explored the date range sections And in this section, we are exploring the measures. The purpose of the measures is to calculate the aggregated measures to find something as total averages for quick insights. To identify the overall trends or the smart analysis. The basic SQL functions used here is the count, sum, average. First, we want to find the total sales in this data. So we are summing the data, sum of sales amount as total sales and gold fact sales. When I'm trying to execute this line, we got right 50, I think something 5871 Yes, these are the total sales, and we want to find the how many items are sold. So same the we are in this aggregations we are using the quantity. And I trying to execute this. There are 12,846, and we want to find the average selling price. So that we are using the time aggregation as the average and the average of the price. When I trying to execute this, we are average price as 486, and we want to find the total number of orders. So when I trying to, so we are using the count functions as aggregated functions. When I trying to execute it, there are 1,20,796 product order numbers are in the table. First, we want to know about the distinct order number. So we are using the distinct order number in this table, and there are 27,659 distinct, and that means unique order numbers. And we want to find the total number of products in the dim products table. So we are using the count functions as the count of product name. Let's time to execute it. There are total of 583 products in the company, and we want to find the total number of customers. So we are, yeah, and it's coming from the gold dimension customers. I'm suggesting to watch the previous video and after coming to this video, so that you only understand the gold layer, what is mean the gold layer, and what is mean the silver layer, and what is mean the bronze layer. And we are loaded the data, cleaned data in the gold layer. And when I try to execute it, the output is that the 18,486 total customers in the company. And we want to find the total number of customers that has placed an order, and let me a unique. So when I try to execute this, it's in category customer key. Okay, and we are generating the report to show that the all key metrics of the business. So first, select the total sales. We have discussed about the previous section, and the total sales as the measure name and sum of the sales amount and the total measure value from the gold facts tables. And we are combining the all. The first time trying to explain that union. What's meant by union? It combines like it's like it's similar to the joins, and but it's it join the tables with unique data types. Sorry, same data type. Yes, right. And we are union all from total quantity and the average price and the total orders and the total customers. In the later video, in the latest session, we have discussed about something exciting. So let's get into that. In the previous section, we have explored the measure exploration. In this section, we are exploring the magnitude analysis. The purpose of the magnitude analysis is to quantify the data and group results by specific dimensions. For understanding the data distribution across the categories in the table, the basic SQL functions are used in this section are a sum and count and average. And we are getting to advanced like group by order by. First, answer the questions like find the total customers by countries. So finding the customers total customers by countries is coming from the select country and count of the customer key, and count of the customer key as the total customers from the gold dimension customers, and we are grouped by eating the country. And the order by, we are order buying the total customers as descending. And the next question is that find the total customers by gender. So we are grouped by gender. So we are selecting the gender and count of customer key as total customers from to go. It's coming from the gold dimension customers. We are grouping the gender by table, group by order by, it's order by total customers, and it's in the descending. And we have to answer the third questions in this section. Find the total products by category. We want to category. So we are selecting the category and we are counting the product key as total products. It's coming from the gold dimension products table, and we are group buying it by category, and we are order by it by total products, and it's in the descending order. And we want to ask in the fourth question, what is the average cost in the each category? First, we want to select the category, and we want to use the aggregation as the average of the cost as the average of the cost. From it's coming from the gold dimension product. It's group. We are group buying it by category. and we are ordered by its by average cost, and it's in the descending order. And we are answering the fifth question in this section. And what is the total revenue generated by each category? So we are using the joins in this table. So we are selecting the select p category and p dot category, and the p dot means it's coming from the gold dimension products table. So it's coming from the products table. We are selecting the category, and we are summing the sales amount as total revenue. It's coming from the total facts table F, and we are left joining it. We want all the values which are in the left table and which are in the right table also. So we are joining the left join and gold dim products as P, and the unique identifier is to the P dot product key is equal to the F dot product key. We are group buying it by category, and we are ordering by total revenue, and it's in the descending order. So let's get into the sixth question on this video, in this session, and we are answer the questions right. What is the total revenue generated by each customer? And here also we are using the join. So slowly we are getting into the advanced level, right? And we are selecting the customer key and the first name and the last name of the customer. We are summing the sales amount of the total revenue from the gold facts table, and we are left joining the customers table C, and keeping the aliases as the C, and we are joining the primary key as the C dot customer key is equal to F dot customer key, and we are group buying it by three categories. First we want to group buying by customer key, and we are group buying by first name, and we are group buying by C dot last name, and we are ordering the total revenue from the descending order. And yes, this is the last question of this session, and we are find the what is the distribution of the sold items across the countries. So first we want to select the countries, and it's coming from the quantities of sum as a total sold items. So it's coming from the facts tables, and we are left joining the gold dimension customers, and the primary key used is the customer ID is equal to F dot customer ID. We are grouping it by C dot country, and we are ordered by total source items descending. So slow first, in the first question we are finding the recap of the session. We have total customers. We have find the total customers. When trying to estimate, there are 7 customers in the total customers by country, and we are finding the total customers by gender, right? And I'm trying to execute this. Yes, there are 3 categories: male, female, and nothing. Yes, right. And we are finding the total products by category. Okay. And when I try to executing this, there are the components and mics and clothing and accessories. When I'm trying to average cost of this, yes, the average cost of the bike is the 941. The bikes is the most selling products in this company, and the components is that 264, and the average cost of the clothing is 24, and accessories is 13. And we are answering the total revenue generated by each category, right? When I try to execute this, the having some yes category, the total revenue generated by the bikes is that 5 crore 66 6,65,000 2,500 something number going to billion, right? Accessories, and there are something, right? 1 crore 40 lakhs 524, right? And clothing we are using 6,29,432. The most selling products in this company is the bikes, right? And they are getting the total revenue generated by each customer. So when I try to execute this, yes, it's error with get customers key. Let's omit it. Okay. Here also customer key. Yes, that's it for the in this session for magnitude analysis. So in the next section we are exciting to something exciting. So let's get into the another section, the change over time analysis. The purpose of the change over time analysis is that to track the trends of the company and growth of the company and changes in the key metrics over changing over the time. For time series analysis and identifying the seasonality to measure the growth and decline over the specific periods. And the SQL functions used here is that the date functions and the date part and date rank and format. And the aggregate functions are using that the sum, count, and average. And first, we want to answer the business related questions. First, we want to analyze the sales performance over time. First, we want to calculate the quick date functions, right? First, we are selecting the year of order date, and we want to year. So we are putting the year of order date as order year, and we are want the month. So we are keeping that month of order date as month order month, and we are calculating the sum of the sales amount as total sales, and we are finding the unique customer ID. Sorry, right. Yes, right. Unique distinct customer ID as total customers, and we are summing the quantity as total customers ID, and it's coming from the gold facts tails, and where the order ID is not null. One not null concepts where the order date is not null, and we are group buying it by year of order date and month of the order date, and we are ordering by year of the order date and month of the order date. And in the second part, we are discussing about the date trunk functions. So we are selecting the month order date. We want the month in the date part. We want the exact month part only. So we are using the date trunk functions. So in date trunks, and we want the month. So we are keeping the order date as order date, and we are summing the sales amount as total sales, and we want the count of distinct customer ID. Here also the same. Sorry guys. Yes, the count, we are counting the distinct count customers IDs as total customers, and we are the sum of the quantity as total quantity from the gold facts sales, and we want the order date is not null, and we are group buying it by date trunk functions using the month of order date, and we are ordering it by month of the order date, and default is the assigning. So we are formatting the data. So it is the last question for the in this session for changeover analysis. So we are formatting the data. We want the format as year and month. So we're using the format functions. We want the so from which column is we are using for order date. So format of order date we are YYY as year and MMMS as month as order date, and we are summing the sales amount as total sales, and we want to count the distinct customer ID as total customers. Some and let's and want to calculate the sum of quantity as total quantity, and it's coming from the gold fact sales, and we want the not null order dates. So we are counting group buying by format of order date as same in the previous video, and we are ordering by format of order date, right? Yes, and we are seeing the gold sales experiment video. There are the order number and product key and ID and order date and date, due date and sales amount, quantity and price. So that's for in this session. In this session, we are discussing about the change of analysis. The purpose of is to take the track the trends of the company. So let's get into the another session. In the previous session, we are discussing about the change over time analysis. In this session, we are discussing about cumulative analysis. So to calculate the purpose to in this section is to calculate the running totals or the moving averages for key matrices to track performance over the time cumulatively. And we are using the purpose cumulative as analysis as useful for growth analysis or identifying the long-term trends. And we are using the SQL functions as sum over, and we are using the Windows function. We are still going to small steps as become and average functions, and it's also a window functions. Okay. First, we want to answer the questions as calculate the total sales per month, and we want to calculate the running total sales over time. So first, for total sales, we want remaining this part sections. So break it into sections. The query becomes easy. So it's coming from the order date, and we are calculating the total sales, and we are sum of the total sales, and it's coming order by over. It's like a window function. That's running total price, and average price is average price as we are overing it by order date, and it's a moving average price, and we are writing a subquery, and in which table it's coming from. It's coming from the date. We are using the date trunk functions, and we want the extracting the date, right, year, right, from the order date as order date, and we are calculating the sum of the sales amount as total sales amount, and we are using the average price as average price. It's coming from the gold facts tables, and we are don't want the order date with null values, and we are group buying it by date trunk functions. So when I trying to execute this, yes, the order date as we are group buying it by total sales and average price. When I try to execute the whole query, yes, these are the total running total averages. The first value is here, and this we are plus summing the first value and the second value, and the answer is that the value and the average of moving average of this value. So that's it for in this session. Let's get into the another session. And in this session, we are analyzing the performance analysis. It's beginning from the year over the analysis and month over the month analysis. The purpose of the performance analysis is to performance of the products and customers and regions over the time. For benchmarking the and identifying the high performing entities to track yearly trends and growth. We are using the SQL functions as lag, average, and case. we are using the case statements. It defines a conditional logic for trend analysis. So we have to answer the business questions, right? First, we want to analyze the yearly performance of the products by comparing the year sales to both the average sales performance of the products and previous year sales. So let's break in the questions into smaller sections so the query becomes easier. So in this section, we are using the CTE. So the CTE name is the yearly product sales as we are creating the CTE. So in this section, we want the order date as year. So we are using the year function as order date, and we are categorizing analysis, keeping as analysis as order year. And we want the product name, and it's coming from the products table. And we want the sum of the sales amount, and it's coming from the facts table. And it's giving analysis as current sales, and it's coming from the gold facts tables. We are left joining the gold dim products P, and the primary key used to join the table is the product key, and f dot product key is equal to the p dot product key, where the we want the not null values in the order date. So we are grouping it by year of the order date and one product name. And the main query is that the want to select the order year and the product name and the current sales, and we are creating the average sales, and we are using the window functions as over partition. We are partitioning by the product name as average sales, and we want to minus the current sales as the average minus average sales over. We are partitioning by product name. We are keeping the difference average difference between the current sales and the average sales, and we are calculating the using the case statements. We are when the current sales minus average sales over the we are say using the same average condition, the same conditions here in this same conditions in this subdivision using here. It's when it is greater than 0, it's then the above average. When it is the less than 0, it's in the below average, and we are ending at the average change. We want to calculate the year over analysis. So in this for this year over year analysis, we are using the lag of current sales in the lag function. The lag function is the previous, it looks into the previous data. So we are looking the lag of current sales. We are group buying it by, we are partitioning by product name, and we are ordering by order year as previous year sales, and the current sales minus the lag of current sales. We are using the same condition as mentioned in above. So we are minusing the current sales and the minus sales for the difference between them. So we are using the case statements when the current sales minus the lag of current sales when it is greater than 0, then it is the then it is increase, and if it is less than 0, then it is decrease, and else it's no change. And we are ending it as a pie change. Yeah, it's coming from the yearly products sales. We are keeping the name of the CTE as product sales. So we are grouping it, we are ordering by the product name and order name. So when I try to execute this query, see, it's all take the output is fine. The order here and the product name, and then we are finding the currency, and we are getting the average, and we are getting the different average, we are getting the average changes, and we are getting the previous year sales, and we are getting the previous difference between the previous year sales. The if the we are using the case statements as increases or decreases or no change, we are using the pie change. So that's for the sessions. This is the last section, and where we have to data segment analysis. The purpose of the data segment analysis is to group data into the meaningful categories for targeted insight. And for customer segmentation and product categorization and regional analysis, the basic SQL function used here is the case statements, and we are using the group by. So we want to answer the query. First, we want to segment the products into the cost range and count how many products fall into each segment. First, break in the query. For we are using the CTE. So in the with product segments as a CTE name, as we are selecting the product key and product name, and we are creating the cost. And when the cost is less than 0, it's below 100. When the cost between the 100 and the 500, it is between the range of 100 and 500. And when the cost between the 500 and 1000, and in the range of 5000 and 1000, and we are using else, it's about 1000. We are ending it as cost range. From it's coming from the goal dimensions table. And let's get into the main query. We are selecting the cost range, as we mentioned in the case statements, and we are counting the product key as total products, and it's coming from the CTE product segments, and we are group buying by cross range, and we are ordered by total products, and it's in the descending order. When in time to execute this query, sorry guys, yes, right. See, the cost range between the below 100 is there are 213 products are below 100. Between the 100 and the 500 is there are 202 products, and between the 500 and 2000 products there are 90 products, and if it is the above 10,000 products there are 78 products. So let's get into the another questions. We want to group by the customer based on the VIP, regular, and new customers. So first we are using the CTE, same CTE. We are keeping the CTE name as customer spending, and we are selecting the customer key, and we are using the sum dot sales amount as total spending, and we are finding the min order date as first order and max order date as the last order. I want to find the it's for the each customer, and date difference between the min order and the order as a lifespan. It's coming from the gold facts table, and we are left joining the customers table, and we keeping the joining the primary key as f dot customer key is equal to f dot c dot customer key, and we are group buying by c dot customer key. So and let's make it the main query. Yes, right. In the select customer segments, we are selecting the customer segments, and we are counting the customer key as total customers, and it's coming from the. Let's get into the subquery first. Yes, we are selecting the customer key, and we are using the case segment when the lifespan is greater than 12 and total spending greater than 12,000, then VIP. We are categorizing the customer as VIP. When the lifespan is greater than 12 and the total spending is less than 5,000, we are keeping it by regular, and we are they are new customers. We are segment data ending as the customer segments. It's coming from the customer spending as that segmented customers. We are keeping the analysis name as segment company. We are group buying by customer segments, and we are ordering by total customers, and it's based on the descending. Okay. And when I'm trying to execute this query, sorry guys, it's mainly on the customer. Yes, right. When I'm trying to execute the query, sorry guys, there is an error in this query, and let me try to fix it. That's right. Yes, that's it for the session. We are category in the session. We are discuss about data analysis. The purpose of the section is to group data into meaningful characteristics. That's it. We are getting into the end of the video. If you find the video useful, just like it, subscribe it, and share it with your friends. Thank you. See you later.